Welcome to the Regardless podcast. My name is Miracle Ama Prayers, where we talk about our in and out of season, with or without, abounding or abasing, yet having a God who still remains faithful. Ministry isn't all fire and miracles. They are awkward moments and times no one ever warns you about. And that is why today, for the very first time, we have two male guests, yes, and we are going to talk about a topic that has probably been a center of attraction for the past weeks. This is our last episode for the year of 2025. So if you are going to watch this, this will be our last episode for this year. But you are going to absolutely love it, especially anyone who's had any form of pain, any form of understanding, any form of misunderstanding from the church. Yes, we are talking on the topic church hate. Today I'm going to give you a chance to meet all my guests. You've met almost all of them, but there's a new person on set, and I'm just going to give him a chance to introduce himself, and the others will introduce themselves as well. Thank you. So the first person, over to you.
So, hi everyone, my name is Kwame Into, and so I'm in the midst of a lot of pastors today, so I'm tempted to say I'm just a regular church member. But I think I would also go with that. I'm simply a Christian. I love the Great Commission, all things Great Commission. I work a lot with Power Church Ministry, and I think I'll end there for now.
Hello everybody, I'm Pastor Elliot, but popularly known as Commander L. And I mean, this is my second or third time on the show, so it's great to have you here again.
The second time you didn't see Commander, but he was behind us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lauren Chanodako, and I'm a woman of God and an entrepreneur.
Pastor.
Okay, hi, I'm Eliva Usu, and I'm a pastor with the Kingdom Ambassadors.
Of which Commander is the founder. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to start today. Kwame, you've never been on this show, so tell us how you found, how Jesus found you.
Okay, so how Jesus found me. I would say Jesus found me quite early. I'm from typically a Christian home. My parents, so what I do currently, my parents were the ones doing it before me. Very popular ministry in Ghana. They've been traveling secondary schools, and I have memories of being a child carrying along and all that. But then Christ didn't become personal to me until I was around maybe 8, 9. And
8, 9.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think I
So-
like 14 or 15.
No.
You are running with horsemen.
So for me, I always tell people that, of course, I started reading the Bible early because of Christian home. But then, until Jesus becomes personal, he will not mean anything to you. So that personal decision was when I decided that, okay, you know what, let me go all in for this. And few years later, here am I, and I don't regret that decision ever. So that's it.
Thank you. All right, so today I said we are talking church hate. I'm going to be as honest as I can with the questions. My guests have promised me that they are going to be very honest. I mean, very, very honest, right?
Flower tissue.
And I mean, at the end of the session, we will try and pray for anyone who is probably experiencing it, because I mean, that's the aim of this, right?
Yeah.
To get you a little better, right? Okay, so first and foremost, my question to everyone answer this. What the word church hate, what does it personally mean to you? What does it mean to you? What is church hate? Like, what does it personally mean to you? Commander, I'm starting with you.
Okay, so first of all, when I hear the phrase church hate, the first thing that comes to mind is that the phrase itself is wrong. Because the church as a system that Jesus has left here does not hurt anybody. But it's people within the church that hurt. So I think that every time we generalize offenses, it's relative to someone saying Barclays hate or Absa hates or Ghana hates. They generalize it. Meanwhile, Mr. Fred hates or Amma hates me or Kofi hates me, not the church hate. Because so I think church hate is the term people choose to give to when they are offended or they experience any form of pain by someone in the church.
Okay, so what do you think we should call it then? Because, coming back, the Bible, we are still the church, all of us are church, right? The church of God. And also, take into this, if you go to, let's say, a supermarket and the person does not treat you well, the next time you are referencing it, you would say that the clients in this particular church, the clients in this particular supermarket or the people who work there are rude, right? But if you want us to narrow down the term, then it means we are going to be mentioning the names of churches, which is a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Because every church will definitely have.
But we don't need to mention the name of the church.
No, I'm just using your analogy to build down my point.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Because we say we are the church of God. All of us here believe we are the church of God, right? Mm-hmm. So if we are all the church of God, then it means that we can individually hurt people.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And when we walk out of the walls of the church, we can still hurt people.
Yeah.
That's true, right? Yeah. But in the end, because we are the church, when people come, they experience us as a family. So do you think there shouldn't be a term like that? Or you think that it should be narrowed down to, let's say, Pastor Eliva did something I didn't like in the church?
I think when we go to the
because
hospital,
when
we go to the hospital, yeah. Say you are diagnosed of COVID, the doctor's diagnosis does not say your spouse transferred COVID to you. Yeah. It says you have COVID. Yeah. So we call out the problem, not who gave it. Okay. Yeah. So if someone has a problem and it was a problem of maybe a leader in the church spoke to you rudely, then what we should address is how to speak politely, or making sure our speech is tempered with love or salt, not necessarily that Abe hurt me.
Yeah.
So personally.
Solid points, but I'm coming. Let me push this to Kwame. I'm coming to you. I get Commander's point, but don't you think that it's because there's a level of expectation from the church? Exactly. I always say that when you say that, because the Bible says, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, meaning that there's a level where, I remember my pastor was once saying that if Ghana is not going well, it means the church in Ghana is not working. Yeah. Like when it's not praying enough, we are not.
Per se, though.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah. Not per se. I do not agree with him. Sorry. To
say. Yeah.
Or it could be that the people are rejecting what the church has to offer.
One or two things.
So it's also a possibility. But what you are saying is also true.
Yeah. So it just means that probably the Christians, right, are not probably pushing the right.
What about countries that are not Christ dominated? They are other religions.
Well, I like how the podcast has started.
There's a remnant, because salt does not need to be in gallons in order to be effective. So when the Bible says we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world, do you remember that there are two? Jesus uses two elements or two instances. So Jesus uses two elements where they don't need to be noisy in order to announce their presence. They don't need to make noise in order to be effective. So it means that's where Jesus now gives the analogy. So drawing into what you mentioned about the church, that if salt loses its saltiness, then what? It is thrown outside and trampled underfoot. If people are now trampling the church underfoot, could it be that we are losing our saltiness? Now, let's bring it back to church hurt. Now, church hurt is because...
Before you take it to church hurt, it's helping the podcast to be nice. So
yes.
Let me also say.
Okay.
Would you say Jesus was salty?
You said?
Would you say Jesus was salty?
He said he was the light of the world.
Yes, but would you say he had salt?
Yes, he had.
Would you say he lost his saltiness?
No.
Would you say he was trampled underfoot?
No. But he became sin for us who knew no sin.
No. Would you say men did not respect him at a point?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he made himself of no reputation, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did that automatically mean that he lost his saltiness?
No.
So there's also a loophole in there where someone can be salty, but the people reject the salt.
That's obvious.
So that's also there, just so that we know. Because
it's
always, the church has lost its salt, the church has, but there's also a situation where people reject it.
And I agree.
And come to think of it, you see, the message of salvation, right? We believe that whoever is going to hell is not because God is taking you to hell. It's because you've rejected the gift of salvation.
Yeah.
It's the causative effects.
Yes.
When you do not take your drugs,
Yeah.
you force it.
Yeah.
It is not happening because
God is taking
God is
away.
no.
Yeah.
It's just that because you see, the gift of God is eternal life.
Through Christ Jesus
But
alone.
you see, so if you are rejecting the gift of God, the response to that.
Yeah. And
But
so
that was just by the way. But I
Yeah.
think Kwame should learn with the
So let me finish with that and into that.
Okay.
So this is where to also touch on your point. So C.S. Lewis said that the gates of hell are actually locked from the inside. God does not put a passlock. That God didn't put a padlock or a password on top, but He locked it from within. Now, the thing about church hurt is actually it's trauma that is trying to find an identity with an institution that people are having issues with.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the problem is not the institution, is that pain is now given language to now try and find identity. So what is happening is that people are trying to identify their pain per a memory or per a system. So the danger of church hurt is that you are now trying to delegitimize the church, right? On the basis of the emotional argument you have, which is your pain. But you see, the book of Job gives us a very nice picture. Pain, if it's not directed towards God, will always end up in nonsense. Job is an extremely long book because one man didn't understand what the purpose of his pain was. So the thing about church hurt is this. Church hurt is because human beings will always be human. I have an issue with this proverb we always say, to err is human, to forgive is divine. But we forget that the Bible mentions that the first instance of a human being was perfect. So it's not about human beings not being perfect. It's about the effect of sin. This is where we really need to understand the gospel. So the gospel now says that people are broken. Now, if you are coming to a hospital and you are seeing somebody on a bed and then maybe they are messy or they are sick or they have a smell or you see blood, why should you be offended with the hospital when you know that is what you signed up for when you entered there? So this is why we really need to find a balance. Because sometimes people want to now make a case with their emotional argument because selfishness is trying to say that here am I, forget everybody, this is me. Because I am going through something, let the world should shut down. But then this is where we also really need to find a balance as well. Because again, people are putting
I get your argument very well. But you know, I'm sure you've heard men are scam, right? Now that is a typical analogy to church hits. It is just because I always say that when people say men are scam, they've not dated all the men in the world. But they definitely just met maybe, let's even say they met 15 men. But even 15 is definitely never a good proportion of the number of men in
Sometimes
the world.
the men are scam.
Exactly.
Let me take a playbook from Commander. Sometimes the men are scam argument is also not true because
No, relax.
the person who is saying men are scam themselves are the scam. So we really need to get that a bit clear.
You see, so the men are scam term is a very popular one. And we can say that is overgeneralization. It's the fallacy of overgeneralization.
That's true.
But it is just because that is how human beings, let me also not overgeneralize. That is how some human beings treat issues.
Yeah.
You know how when someone does something to you in a church, it's probably just one, you know, some people I just heard from just one person, one usher who we just even recruited that day. Do you understand? She's probably now even learning. She's now in training, just one usher. And their heads carrying that pain consistently. And I'll give you an example of myself. I have a number of people in my church who bear a particular name, right? Now, when I say names, sometimes it goes under the same umbrella. So even though let's say you are called Akosia, it can go under 4 people are all under the Akosia umbrella. So if you are texting me, because my messages are played sometimes, I may be chatting with you, but I don't know who you are. And I'm not supposed to ask who is this. I'll talk with you, sir, because I study the pattern of the conversation, then I pick up who you are.
This is it.
Now, one lady left our church. Okay, and she texted me. And when she texted me, because I thought it was the other girl in our church. I was wondering why that person was asking me these questions. So I was delaying a little with my responses. And she just goes like, is it because I've left your church that you're acting like this? Then I'm not, and I now catch that, oh, it is you! Like, but by the time I know she's blocked me.
Anger issues.
Now, the problem is that the girl goes ahead to assume I was not responding to her because she left the church. She goes to tell person B. Person B would say, that's how they are.
For all you know, she's watching it now. So.
Yeah, but now the bigger problem is that I didn't even know I was talking to you. And this is, that's the problem. There are so many things that you don't even know what's happening in the person's mind before even the thing happened. Yeah. Look, sometimes today, I don't have my phone. I'm giving you a vivid example. I don't have my phone. I was there and someone reached out to me and says, I've been calling you so many times. Since you don't respond to us when we call. And I said, I don't have my phone. And the person is upset. I don't even have my phone. Like, that is literally it.
Well.
And that same attitude we have as human beings, it reflects on our church relationships. Yeah. Because we sometimes our expectations go too high above. You have a pastor, he's one man. He has 24 hours. He doesn't have 25 hours and a half.
But could it be the reason why people are treating their pastors that way is because they treat God the same? Because really,
to be fair, I've realized that sometimes we even esteem our pastors too high above God.
Exactly.
It's sad, but that's the truth.
Exactly.
We sometimes, there's a level, that I can talk to people and they can talk, I'm not asking God for this because I feel like I'm always asking Him for things. Yeah. But there are people that can call their pastors at any time in the day. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., they are calling them non-stop. There are people that even know that they shouldn't be calling. On my birthday, I can be solving problems. Whether I'm sick, I'm not fine. I can be ministering and someone is calling me, and I don't pick. It's a whole you treat people about me. Look, even when I wish people happy birthday, I have to be explaining to some people why your birthday wish was 2 lines, why your birthday wish was 3. I'm not even lying. And how is this it's like you hamper the person from just behaving, right? So then everyone just blacks out on you, and this is all because, then again, it's because of how some human beings treat things, and it's majority of human beings treat conversations. It's because we live so much on assumptions. Like we live so much on assumptions that is what the church has become. Yeah. When you are entering a church, people think that their church never has an issue, and I could be part. When I was growing up, like when I even see that, let's say in church they are kissing, I'm shocked. Hey, they can do this in church, and that's how most believers are. Like if you go and tell someone that in K, there are people in the church who are probably dating and not telling pastor, hey, no, our church we are so well trained. If you tell them that maybe in another church, I don't want to mention that church before they think I'm talking about them. There are people that are not dating and they are not, hey, my church, the way my pastor trains us, he prays for us, there's no one that can hide anything. We have a very good prophetic, and my friend, they are lying. Do you know members?
It's all settings.
Members can be looking at you and lying to you.
It's settings.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm happy that at least you're speaking from that pastoral point of view, because as someone who has been working with, so I'm not a minister per se, but one thing I've come to notice is, you see, the thing is that people sometimes have identity crisis and they use the church to make up for it. So what is happening is that they are so involved in the church work that their relationship with God is suffering. So people have become modern day Pharisees without knowing. Because when I'm using my effectiveness in church as a measure for my walk with God, a lot of error will come in. So this is where you have people who, excuse me to say, follow the line of blind loyalty at the expense of obedience to the truth of God's word. So as someone who is kind of like in the middle of two worlds, so sometimes I must say it this way, I'm too active to be just a normal church member, but I'm not really up there to be called a pastor just like that. So I kind of see both of it, and I realize that it's the heart issue. Solve the matter of the heart, right? The heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. So a lot of times people are having issues with the assumptions and all that. Again, my own is this: have you given them what they first need? What's the first thing they need? The gospel. Before we overgeneralize it to say the word of God, the gospel. Have we solved the matter of the heart? So a lot of the damage, a lot of pastors, I respect a lot of pastors. I respect my contemporaries and my peers here like this. I respect you guys because you are carrying a burden that if Jesus himself is not carrying it with you, you will really go through. Me, I'm not even a pastor, I taste small. So I think with that, maybe we can go a little further because I have a story of a friend.
I'm coming a minute.
Yeah.
Lady Pastor, I want to just us to move a little to the next topic.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Lady Pastor, do you think church hurt is more common than people admit it? Right. We've talked about the fact that people cause it, but do you think it's more common than we admit it?
Oh yes. Church hurt is more common than we admit it. Yes, because I mean most people see church to be all perfect, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's a place where people go to be healed, like to go and address their hurt. It's a place where you rather send your pain. Yes, so that's how it's supposed to be. But people also refuse to look at it in a way that there are people also there, and the people in the church are also human beings and can also be a cause of church hurt.
Yeah.
You know, I always say this in a very funny way. Imagine you go to Kolebu, you are going for just headache, you are going for draft, then you meet a mad person, he bites you. Is it Kolebu's fault?
No.
Unfortunately, like everyone's sickness is different, but it doesn't change the fact that you're all sick.
Yeah.
And the fact that you went to meet a mad person and the mad person beat you, the mad person too was coming to treat him, so unfortunately you were subject of this thing, right? Yeah. So I agree with that. Lord, I want you to come in, right? Yeah. Church hurt is always geared towards one angle, but there's so many levels. I always say it can even be sexual harassment. It can be lying that someone stole money. You can be hurt because they said you stole money in a church and you didn't steal their money. It can be that sometimes you didn't even do something. Someone else who did it, your pastor said, it's you did it, but it's not you who did it. There are so many grades. It can even be within the church. You are probably prospering more than other pastors in the church, and the pastors within the church don't like you. We say we are a body, but it doesn't change the fact that sometimes the teeth and the mouth fights. That's there. So it can be that even within the church, people are saying things you didn't do, and you are hurt. And it's people that, and I always say, it's always expectation. It's the root of heartache. If we didn't expect anything from the church, trust me, we will not be even having this conversation. It's expectation, so much expectations from the church. And I don't blame them, because why would you expect so much from a church that God is growing onto a perfect man to the stature of Christ? It's fine. You should expect a prognosis from us. It's fine. It makes sense. Because that's the aim. That's the goal. People are building muscles for 6 packs. We are building onto that. So it's fine to have that. But what are some examples? Like, I really want us to have examples. You could give some. You could give a few. Lady Pastor will give some. Everyone will give some. And go.
So, I mean, church hurts, right? It didn't start today. Okay, if you read the letter to the Corinthians, the Galatians, these were a people. If you read the things that they were doing inside, and these are people who are in church. These are church leaders. Someone will go and sleep with his mother. Like, things were happening in the church. And Paul is writing to say, don't do this, don't do this. And based on some of these things, there are rules where the whole women are not supposed to cover. Like, there are lots of things we live by because of people's heads or people's mistakes. Okay, so I mean, when you talk about church heads, it's not a 21st century something. These examples started way back in the Bible. If you bring it to today, honestly, someone has stepped on my shoe. These are really little things we are dealing with. And the church is made up of, I mean, we are human beings coming from different backgrounds, different family backgrounds, different regions, different tribes, different personalities are trying to be under the umbrella of Christ. Really, there will be clashes. Even in your family, the church is like the house of God. In a house, you have mother, father. If there are 10 siblings in a house, every single day there's going to be chaos. Every single day.
Now you have 50 siblings. You have
Come on.
hundreds, thousands.
There's no way all of you, none of your siblings would step on your foot. But I can't see you disowning your family, because that blood is running through your veins, the blood of your family. So you have to, let me just bring this example of Noah's Ark. That's when we talk about church heads. The only thing that comes to mind is Noah's Ark. The lion was there with the sheep. The predators were there with the prey. All of them were in one ark. They went through the storm. They survived in the end. So there are lots of things that will happen. Once there's a lion and a sheep in the same place, there are many things that could go wrong. It's just the word of God holding us together. So the examples are so many. I have personal plenty unnecessary church hurts. Some of them that I'll think about and
like, why did I even get it about that?
Exactly. But some of them that I also think about and go like, it still hurts.
Okay.
But the word of God sustains you basically in everything. Yeah.
Commander, examples.
Church hurt. Wait, church hurt as in the members hating the pastor or the pastor
hates the members.
That's why I need you to give examples. You need to give examples and say that there are some that the members too hate the pastor. You know, people always, that's what I'm saying, the conversation has always been skewed towards one direction. Like the pastors there, they can never be hate. Oh dear, you are rock of ages, girl brother,
I think nothing hurts more than you investing so much in a member. Like all your time and everything.
It's very painful.
The funny part is they'll tell you that what did you do?
No, and not.
I've paid for you, asking me what did I do?
And the thing that even makes it extra painful is that the moment you now want to make noise about it, that do you know what I do for you? The Bible literally says you've collected your reward in advance. So it makes it super uncomfortable that if you want to be effective as a Christian and you want to put your heart into it, it gets painful. And I think it's in that space too, sometimes I think it's in that space too we get to feel what Jesus felt a bit. Because I'm saying a bit because if you took everything, Charlie won't be here.
Jesus now Obia soon because of him. That person goes ahead to deny him.
Hey! Let's not even go.
That's crazy.
Let's not even go too far. His own family did not even believe in him as a Messiah.
That's a big deal, actually.
Someone has cut someone's hair. How about you replace the ear? Then the person goes ahead and denies you. Just let me say one time you can say, oh, maybe he didn't see. It's like, you know church members.
Charlie, you're speaking from that pastoral point of view, but let me talk for the members a bit. Sometimes too, it's really painful because they take your pain and at the end of the day, the pastor uses it as an example to prove a point for the sermon.
Give me an example.
It
happens. Now let's go. We'll break the juggler.
In fact, I have a friend of mine. He was a Christian and now he's walked away from the faith.
The church or the faith entirely?
Faith. He doesn't believe in Jesus anymore.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, but funny enough, it's in that season of his life now that's where we're actually talking more as friends. It's just so funny. But one thing he told me and I realized, and my heart reached out to him because I was like, we should have been better as a church because this was a guy going through a crisis.
What crisis? Can you be more detailed?
So let me be.
Yeah,
So what was happening was that he had gone through a lot of trauma as a child. And it had led to an identity crisis with himself. So I want to be as vague as possible. But then something along the lines of sexual abuse on these things.
Alright, so he was abused.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
not from church.
Not from church.
Not from church.
Not from church.
Okay.
Please.
I need to, start we break
I know.
Yeah, but we're getting to the
church part.
Okay.
So he comes in and he now confides in a senior member of the church, like in church leadership, only to come and hear it that is being used on the pulpit as an example. And of course, the pastor tries to be anonymous with it. But then the shock that this is my story and I'm hearing it in the sermon. So, and it was one of the main...
So how do we tell church members to be afraid of Judas?
Hold on. So, relax for me. So,
we use Judas' story. Let's be... I get him. But we use Judas. Do you know how many times we use Judas' story?
But
Judas get angry with her from the grave.
But you see, Judas knew what he was getting himself into.
That is the point. I'm trying to say that no matter what, you cannot change the fact that there will be a Pharaoh and there will be an Israel.
But then the thing
unfortunately, one will be scared because Judas is in there and killed himself. You see,
but the trauma. Judas.
There's a
trauma that you went for. There's a trauma that comes to look for you. because of something either prophecies or
So we must know the context. What was the pastor saying?
So hold on. So this
You get
that's
it.
why I'm trying to be as vague as possible to protect because sometimes it's
otherwise you'll be doing the same thing the pastor was doing.
exactly my point. That's the dilemma here. So but the long and short of it was, of course, it didn't just happen once or twice, and again, isolation. That's what I said. I was going to say that it was one of the many things that happened in a series of unfortunate events that led to it. Which brings me to something that I will caveat to is that sometimes, and when church hurt is happening, we must learn to look beyond what we are being hurt about.
I don't want to cut you, but let me just tell you something.
Okay.
This boy was already abused. First point.
Yes.
He's already hurt. He's already a hurt person walking around.
Yes.
He has not healed from the first wound.
Yes.
And when you're already wounded, right?
Yes.
You meet someone coughs. Have you ever felt? Listen, you just have
A sore throat.
A sore throat.
And then you are breathing.
And then
breathing
it's that difficult. So there's someone who is already wounded.
Yeah.
I'm not defending the pastor, to be honest. I know how it feels to hear yourself being preached on a pulpit.
Yeah.
Because some of us probably heard ourselves be used as different examples.
Example number one.
Yeah. But you're already wounded. And imagine when you're already wounded and then you hear something, it's so quick to take pain.
Yeah.
That is how it is.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Imagine Commander is not talking to someone like Pastor Elephant. They're already fighting.
You break.
So imagine Commander is not talking to someone like Pastor Elephant. There's already tension in the house. All of a sudden in the house, because maybe they can be staying together. Sometimes it happens. So there's already tension in the house.
Go for it.
All of a sudden, Commander is already, there's so much tension in the house. All of a sudden, Pastor Elephant just says that you cry, you like worrying. This is something Pastor Elephant has been saying for a long time. Commander says, now you don't know how to blur the line between being a pastor versus me being in the house.
But that's what I also said. Pain has a language, so you must be careful to discern the language of pain. So this is what even brings us back to the expectation thing. You get it. The thing is that God has given so much to the church, right? So sometimes we must also learn to see it from their point of view.
Okay.
Because to whom much has been given, much is required. If God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit has given you prophets, word of knowledge, all these things, and you don't have the sensitivity, because remember, church hurt is also a sensitivity issue. Remember, the person is already being scarred. So, I'm not a medical doctor, but then I stand to be corrected. But then, we already have a layer of skin. Now, there are multiple layers to this thing we are seeing as skin. When a scar happens, it's one of two things. Either a layer has been peeled off, or there's an opening. One or two things. Now, when a layer is peeled off, you are extra sensitive. Or your more nerve endings are exposed and whatever. Number two, either that or you are cut. There's also infection and stuff going on. Now, church hurt is an indication that number one, you are sensitive. But number two, if the church is a hospital, doesn't it mean that the doctors must also be discerning about the situation? So this is where it becomes a two-sided issue. Because as much as pastors can't do everything,
they can do something. I
always tell my guys, if we can't reach 1,000, let us go for one. That's why Paul said, I do all things that by all means I win some. Even to what you said with the Corinthian church. Do you know Paul at the end of his life said that he said that, look, I'm the worst of all sinners. Why? Because he began to realize that there are certain things I shouldn't have done as a minister. The same guy who said demons was forsaking me and Alexander the Coppersmith.
Yeah. Paul was very hurt. Alexander the Coppersmith
was the same guy who was preaching about love.
Yeah. But he's hurt. Hey, church ain't there. Alexander.
The thing is that when revelation comes, mercy goes back. So the reason why we are not receiving mercy from the world is that we claim to have all their answers. Why are we not living like it? I'm talking for members now.
This is a dicey topic. Commander, should we allow this conversation to continue? Hey, you are watching this. I don't even know where you should stand at this point.
I don't want to add to the fire. I'm talking for members. I also want to talk for pastors.
Should church hurt be considered normal or allowed in the church? Should it just You see, should it not be a conversation that we should say that it will happen, we can't do anything about it, or we should do something to work? Commander, should.
First of all, as I explained, church hurt is just an overgeneralization of something. It's always a mirage. Because there are people in church that do things to hurt others. And it's not church. It's life. It's the world. It's the bank. It's the hospital. It's
example. Give
like
example.
Give
example.
Example of what?
Of someone doing something that is overgeneralized in church.
No, like I'm saying, like what I explained.
If a church person hits a banker or something.
He said church hurts, but people hurt people everywhere. Almost every day we are hurt by a teller or by a shop attendant.
You are waiting for
but we don't call it shop hurt.
Yeah.
You understand? We say that there's some attendants be at the crown or the way she vex me.
Yeah,
So there's an usher be at the church, the one stands by the door. That girl.
She's short too.
So it's the girl, it's not the church.
Right.
You understand? But here is the thing, is that like what our brother Kwame to say. First of all, it's the gospel. And the center of the gospel only becomes necessary when we admit we are broken men. And if we admit we are broken men, and we are receiving the gospel so that we can be, in quote, mended or replaced or whatever, there is also another element to this whole thing, which is that it is a process.
Yeah.
Feeding on the word, obeying the word, growing.
Yeah.
That means we are in school.
Yeah.
Or we are in the hospital receiving treatment.
Study to show thyself up.
So as we are in church, people will be worked on. God is working on the members. God is working on the pastor. As one of God will say, God is working on both the pastor and the pew.
And that's a picture of grace.
The pulpit and the pew are being worked on. And it's not only in church, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
So as for offenses, they will come. And those are Jesus' words. We can't say scripture will be broken. So offenses will come. They will be in church. So church hurt is actually part of life. In quotes, if we're using the phrase. It's part of life. But what the church should look at is putting in structures in place to make sure that church hurt does not become a normal thing.
Yeah.
And number two, putting in avenues in place so that when an issue happens, it can be addressed. Yeah. So let me make it a little more practical. Say you have a son who steals meat from the soup. You discipline him. He keeps doing the thing. The next thing is to be more concerned about your meat than the member, than your son. So you have to put a system in place where your child does not have access to that meat. That's why some churches now say, if you're a woman, you want to sit in front, dress properly, because we don't want you to be someone who allures the pastor, allures other men. Dress properly. Just a system to address something that can cause hate in the church. Yeah. If we all say, okay, as leaders, pay attention to people who speak rudely. Somebody talks to somebody rudely, the leader says, we don't do that here. Talk politely. That's a system we've put in place to help one another be accountable. Speak the truth in love. Yeah. Let your speech be seasoned with salt. Yeah. So once we can put these structures in place, I believe it helps. So offense is everywhere, including church, number one. Yeah. And then number two, we can put in systems in place to help with it. That's my comment.
You feel like you said something I like so much. I'm coming to Pastor Eliba. No, let me go to law so that it doesn't matter. Now, you said people are being worked on in church, right? Yeah. Which is very true. It's something I fully agree to. However, the problem is that when you feel like you have been worked on, or you feel like you are being worked on, there's someone is trying to hurt you in the worked on process. That's the whole point. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone who's come from a traumatic home. Your mother, your father, you had a broken house.
Dysfunction.
You came to church. Yeah. You got a pastor who was helpful, prayerful with you. Then one time, you are annoying the pastor and you said, am I not the one who prayed for you to even feel well about your... It didn't come because the pastor wanted it to come out. But then again, it came out. And you are hurt. You've been what? You've been made good by that part. Like, he has helped you heal a little, right? But he makes that statement. Now, someone like this is from a place of pain, right? And this has happened. Now, if that pastor apologizes to the person, do you think it solves it a little bit? Or there's a problem where when we even go wrong as people in church, we don't even see the need. You know, there's also that, because that's people's angle too. Like times the pastor does something, you are like, Pastor, I'm hate about what you did. In loyalty, your pastor can never be wrong. You know, there's that fragment. So do you think if the pastor says, oh, I'm sorry, or maybe commander, me and commander are talking here, the officer, the commander says, Amma, shut up. Then everyone is like, hey, commander, then you're like, oh, that's how I play with Amma. But it's just basic. The commander will just say, well, man, it's okay. I'm sorry about it, right? But he doesn't. Do you think that if maybe the people are getting a form of I'm sorry, the people are getting a form of apology, it would mend a little bit of it? Or you feel like if we decide to apologize to the people 100 times, they will still not be okay? What do you think? I said a lot.
Yeah. I think the first thing is to acknowledge the person's hurt.
Yeah.
To acknowledge that, okay, so from the pastor's point of view, because when you hurt someone, sometimes you are aware.
Yeah.
You are aware that, okay, the person's facial expression changed, like something was, and as a man of God, you'll be able to discern that something shifted.
Yeah.
Now you have to be careful as a man of God, because this is a member who is growing under, there are lots of voices. The devil can use that opportunity to come and tell her something, and by the time you realize, that's where small, she start harboring little hates, and it starts growing. So as a man of God, you should be humble. You know, people of power, men of God are people of power. Like when you pray, maybe people will start falling down. So that easily comes with pride. Easily comes with pride.
Yeah.
And it's something that, as a man of God, every single day, you have to die to self. Because Jesus Christ in all his power was humble to the very end, to the point where he washed his disciples' feet.
Obi also a bread of life.
He was.
He was.
He was a lonely man.
No,
but
he was a humble
he knew
man.
his identity.
Yeah.
He would tell you who he
Obi
was.
also make a Obi say you can eat the food that comes from the
Yeah,
dogs.
from the dogs.
Yeah.
So-
Obi
But regardless, he still healed her. Regardless.
I think this one to take us to the definition of pride, but you let her continue.
Eish, we'll go there.
We'll go there.
But yes,
we have to put it. He says he's not a pastor, but continue.
Yeah.
so and it's very dangerous, because when pride comes in, you definitely fall as a man of God.
Yeah.
So you have to, it should be don't let your ego come in the way. You have to always, every single time, like it's not bad to say sorry, or I'm sorry, or you know your member, you know your sheep, you know the flock you are leading, you've studied the person for a while, so you know what to do and how to nurture that soul you've created. Now, from the members' part of view, of course, you'd be hurt at that first instant. A best show. You probably keep it to yourself. Now, this is where the amount of word that you have in you would be seen. Because then, if you don't have so much within you, any voice will just sway you away.
Yeah.
Like you'd be unstable in your ways.
Yeah.
So you have to just talk to him again about it. Even if it wasn't a man of God situation and someone hurts you, let's say your father. I don't know, a teacher gave this example when I was in primary, that one time he did something to hurt his daughter, and the daughter didn't say anything, and some days later, as they were bonding over something, then she mentions it, she brings it, knowing that tempers are low, and she's pouring her heart out. In his wisdom, he realized that, okay, there's something going on, I have to listen to my daughter to be able to make sure that, okay, because you are a leader training members, so they can become leaders to train other members. So you have to make sure you leave the right footprint. So as a member, the best thing is to talk to him about it. I mean, you have to use wisdom. As he said, they don't want to talk back and say, but why would you say this? Just relax, think.
I'm going
to
change the spectrum of this question. I'll ask you people. Now, one of the things in church, one of the dominant people in ministry is women. Even though they may not be the senior leadership, choice of words. Yeah. They may, what makes ministry is because women are very passionate about the work and they support the people who are pastors, usually men. One of the things that they usually get is that pastors may lead them on. Sample A, and I'll talk about it. And that's another form of church hate.
Okay.
You're a pastor. Why are you making Sister Ivy come and see you at 10 p.m.? You're a pastor. Sister Ivy is cooking food for you. You are saying that, oh, I didn't know she liked why does she cook for all the pastors in the world? Like that's another form of, like commander. This is for you people because you are men, so I'm making you answer.
This charisma.
Why you are calling Sister Ivy 1, 2, 3 a.m. whereas you know you have someone. You know there is someone you are talking to. You know there's someone you probably have, or there's someone you are going to get married to. Then you will be calling Sister Ivy. You will. What are you looking at? Kwame. It's not Kwame.
I'm looking at his face. I'm watching his reaction.
You know, and you are calling people, and this is another conversation. You know, because sometimes pastors do not have the liberty to even announce when they are moving to a girl because of their position. And that's one thing my pastor taught me. So that if you're a pastor and they say you even like it, you cannot say it because if it doesn't work, they'll laugh at pastor.
So for any year,
as
if
pastors cannot fall in love because if it doesn't work, we will laugh at pastor. Hey, pastors, the never didn't mind you. What you mean?
Yeah.
So what? So let's say something like this happens. Should the person still stay in the church commander?
She mentioned you.
What's the question?
She mentioned you.
Right now, it's like you started with one question, you ended with another question.
Yeah, so you answer both. You compile and compress.
First of all,
It's a zip file.
yeah, that they may be one. Just as me and you are one. See, companionship is probably one of the most powerful forces in the world.
From this,
Listen
We're getting there.
Right now, Kwame Told is giving the revelationary aspect of things. So me to let me speak on the practical side.
That's fine. It's pragmatic.
Companionship is powerful, Amma. If after this show I call you and I say, Amma, how are you doing? And today was amazing. You look tired. I can see the AC was blowing you, so we were shaking while we were talking.
Are you trying to tell my audience I'm shaking?
Amma, would you say, Commander, I appreciate your concern, but I don't think it's appropriate that you call me, especially when you're going to marry Pastor Liba. Amma, at that point, it won't occur to you that way. Because of how beautiful companionship is. To know that somebody cares for you, to know that somebody is there for you. And companionship is a powerful force. It solves almost every problem in life. Even if you don't have food to eat and you have a good friend,
Of course.
Charlie, you see that.
Someone say you are poor because you don't have sustained relationships.
It's like almost everything in this life is tied to our
word.
relationships. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that it's a blessing to have good people. It's a blessing to have people you can talk to. It's a blessing to have people that make you feel good, make you feel comfortable, make you feel confident. And it becomes a little blurry. You see, when we can talk at 7. And it's a very interesting conversation. We didn't start talking at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We started at 7.
But what if we started at 1?
No, it's a different context. It's a different context. But let's say we started at 7, then we're talking. At a point, I'm busy doing some things. And it's nice to have you on speaker on the side. Because you are helping me not lose focus and stuff. And I'm on it. Before I realize it's 1 a.m. Charlie, sometimes it looks as if, hey, what's your boundaries? Those things are easy to say. Everybody is saying some online. Boundaries are important. This is important. That is important. But you also know that laziness is not good. You also know that you watch your boundaries with the amount of sweets you eat, the calories you eat, and all of those things. Yeah. We drop blur lines from time to time because it's difficult to be disciplined. You see, and we must make room for allowances for these things. It's true, maintain boundaries and all of those things. But I'm saying that it's not easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we are human beings.
Exactly.
And because it is life.
Exactly.
You understand? So, my take on this thing is that, listen, different pastors came from different backgrounds, were nurtured differently, and have different emotional, mental issues. Somebody is there, he's never had companionships, he's never had friendships. His whole life, people have been looking down on him.
Exactly.
Then, because maybe something is wrong with him facially or something, then finally, as a pastor, he has a member who cares for him, is checking up on him.
Yeah.
It will be very hard to tell that pastor that, hey, you are talking with Susan and so too much. Because his whole life, nobody has bothered to mind him.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
So when we think about these perspectives and so many other things, a pastor has a lot on his heart. He doesn't have anybody else to talk to.
Exactly.
Then here comes Sister
So.
Akosia all ears, who is ready to listen to him, who is ready to talk to him. And say, no, I understand how this person behaves, but I think you shouldn't do this, because it's not always bad conversations.
Yeah.
It's not always naughty
That's
talks.
true.
Sometimes it's genuine friendship, platonic, and they are just talking about life
But by
and
this
things.
time, Sister Akosia has fun.
So let's
She
say
thinks because you
Sister
spend
Akosia
time
is
with her.
good. Sister Akosia is getting emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Getting emotionally attached. Getting emotionally
And
attached.
you call Sister Akosia back.
And then you are also
say,
talking.
hello baby,
You are
hello
also
darling,
talking.
just because.
You are also talking. After Anna, Sister Akosia Betea, you are going to marry Sister Anna.
Oh.
Now I want to ask a question, Anna. Do you just enter Legon? When you be attending class and then level 400, you say, hey, so it's computer science I was doing. No. We always try to find out the purpose, the motive, what we are doing, where we are going, what we are doing. So one of the critical things about friendship is that we must define the friendship. And it's an area that I don't know if it's cultural or it's inherent or I don't know what it is. It's our nurturing. But we are usually not very straightforward when it comes to the purpose of a relationship. Do you know that?
Yes, very true.
Once you tell a lady that, listen, I love your matter.
Like the way you told me that I wanted to marry someone the first day you met. You told me the first day. You
Yeah.
didn't even hide.
Exactly.
The first day you met.
And no lady in my life who is my friend can tell me that I've not told them that I have somebody else I'm going to marry. No lady in my life can tell me that. I tell you plainly, so you understand where I'm coming from, that I'm a loving person. I'm an open person. I'm somebody who likes to engage people. I'm somebody who cares about people. But my motive is not so that it will end in marriage because I have somebody already.
People of God, the pastor has spoken.
Commander, so I'm coming. I'll come to you.
Yeah, finish your thing.
You see, what you are saying is very true.
Yeah.
And it's you. You know, the same way you are saying that inherently people cannot ask where something is going. It's the same way pastors too have that same attitude inherently and they cannot say. Sometimes you see, they also don't want to lose the friendship. But they don't want you to go to, but they probably don't want to marry you. You know? And ladies are in such a way that it's very easy for us to like someone. Especially if you have the person just has to build constant communication with you, and then by the time you know you are head over heels, you left your heels.
But even if I'm not a lady, let me speak for ladies. Okay. You know that also only happens when the friendship is not defined.
True.
Like when
exactly what I was going to say.
If you know that this guy has somebody, he can become your best friend. Like he can become somebody so close to you, and it won't be an emotional attachment per se, even though you really like him. But once he hasn't said anything and the conversations are happening, you immediately realize, Charlie, now I drink.
So who do you think should define the relationship? Both of them.
Both of them.
It takes two to tango.
It takes two to both of them for defining the relationship.
So what do you think happens in this case with pastors? That, for instance, the person so how should I remember as pastor? Please, commander, do you know sometimes don't bear in mind that culturally we say that women do not move to a man, right? So even they like, because I used to say when I was a child that first when I was young I used to say that if a girl even likes, if I'm a girl that likes a guy and he asks me out, I'll be very shy to say that I like you too, because I would want to know if you are serious. When I was younger, of course not now, but when I was younger. But this brings me to my point that is how women are natural. Like some women are nurtured, right? I'm using some for the purpose. We are just very scared to just talk about it. If you are talking to me, if you call me in the evening after 10, I ask you why. Are we dating? Like I ask you playfully, but I want to know your intention.
Yeah.
Because why are you calling me after 11? Why are you calling me after 12? I just want to talk to you. There's no one to talk to. Like I want to know why are you taking us?
Yeah.
Do you get it? Me, I can ask that.
Yeah.
But that's me too. That's me.
The ingredients needed to do contemporary stew are not the same ingredients needed to do gravy.
Okay.
If a man of God calls you at 12 and says that, hey, sweetheart, how are you? I've been thinking about you the whole day. Those are not the ingredients we used to cook a friend. Those are not the ingredients we used to cook a good pastor-shepherd relationship. So when you see where the ingredients being brought on the scene, first of all, your man of God calls you at 10 p.m. Consistently for some time, you are picking. The conversation has nothing to do with ministry life or anything. Let's even forget about time boundaries and time and all of that. The conversation has nothing to do with all of those things. You are saying as a lady, you can't really like just approach a man. What is the purpose of your call? Why are you calling me at this time? Obviously, when you look at the ingredients he's putting on the table, you should know what he's trying to Google. Most of the time, the issue is that, let me speak as if I were a lady. we women choose to ignore.
Commander, that's true. But let me come again. I'm sorry, it looks like it's just me and Commander talking, but I want us to solve the issue.
No, it's a very important thing in church heads. Yeah.
Commander, sometimes the pastor can, there are some pastors that the one they are dating is the one they are strictest to. And
like me.
No?
They like me.
They are very strict. Even when they are talking to them, you will never know that that's the person.
Exactly.
Why? The person you are dating, you are very strict to the person.
No, it's
is she around?
She may be.
She may be around.
It's the same thing with.
Pastor Eva, do you know her?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like parents.
Right. Yeah.
Look at how loving parents can be with somebody's child. The next minute they are disciplining their own child.
Yeah.
A parent can even be telling someone else.
But you the expecting parent. It's your wife, your parent. Are you parent to your wife?
A parent can be telling somebody else that, oh, men bonus sign collab on 5 minutes later he's spanking their child.
Yeah.
That's
not my father. My father will beat you and beat your child too.
So the point is that normally, the Bible says he whom the father loves, he chastises.
Hebrews 12.
So if, let's say, Pastor Ediba didn't dress properly, there's another Ajua sitting here, she also didn't dress properly. And I look at Pastor Ediba and say, I don't like your dress. To the public view, that's considered as, why is he hard on her? But he didn't talk about this one's own. He didn't tell this one that looking beautiful. But the person is wise. Sees that, hey, this guy, he really cares about this girl.
What is favoritism coming?
No, relax. No,
Hey,
Commander.
not everybody
Commander.
is under my in quote, authority
And
to
relax.
influence
And
or
relax.
control.
Law, favoritism is very much possible to happen in the church system, and we must agree to it. Look, the people Commander started the church with, he cannot have the same heart with you that came 2 days ago. Like Peter, James, and John, as if there were no other disciples in the Bible. Like sometimes I even forget that there were.
But even just to land on what Anna said, so Anna, truth of the matter, I can be talking to Pastor Eliba in a way that you not even know that we're emotionally attached.
This is why I'm saying that you might not know. That is how come she might not even know your intention. Like Commander, let's say when you were moving to the girl you like, the girl you are going to get married. It may have taken so much time before she conceived that even this is where Commander is going with me, because maybe the way you were talking to her, I know male friends in ministry who, when they are talking to people they like, I can keep asking, are you sure it's this girl you like? Because they are so well composed. They don't play. It's not, how are you? Have you eaten? Eat for me. Sleep well. No, it is very serious. Have you done your prayer time? Like she said, church member trying to soul. Pray. Have you read the Bible? Have you studied? Very serious conversation. It's not baby, sweetheart. In fact, I remember before my pastor got married, he even said that when you call your girl, the person you're dating, honey, you are not serious. Right? But there are all those things that they can do. They can act very strict. So during these times, how do you even know? At this time, the person likes you. Do you understand? The person likes you. And it's not too drawn out today. Because the very strict men of God tend to have that attitude. You might never know who they like. Very strict men of God. Like you said, when I go to a church, I'm confused who the pastor's wife is. But the pastor's wife, no, she's there. You wouldn't like. Look, it took me so many years before I probably got to know some men of God. Their wives. Because the pastor's wife too much to say, like she's not even in the church, So imagine before they got married, talking stage. How would you this is what I'm talking about. And the reason why it's necessary is because we are the people that are going to be the Idahoses. We are the people that are going to be the teenagers.
Where Paul told us that we should commend ourselves to the conscience of people.
Yeah. Second Corinthians. Yeah.
In other words, like my conduct should be in such a way that somebody should not be affected conscience-wise because of me. Yeah. So if let's say I'm talking to Sister B, I'm dating Sister A, and in my conversations with Sister B, I realize Sister B is getting emotionally attached. It's just on me to tell Sister B that I've noticed that we are getting very emotionally attached, but I just want you to know I'm marrying Sister A. Now, if I don't do that, then now one day, so from where you're questionable.
Exactly.
No. That one there.
But you know some pastors know this and still don't tell you.
Then if you say about
You know, it's an issue with women in the church, right? This is I'm not giving you, because when we talk about current churches, these are some of the conversations that come, because as they even know they are very proposed, though. They just didn't tell you they proposed. Then they are constantly keeping on, like even to the extent.
But I still stand with the fact that by the time a man starts to invest a certain level in you, at that point, it's not about.
Commander, look, there are pastors that can go, they can die for their members, but they don't even like you emotionally. I've met
conversations that arouse love are very different from conversations that showcase.
Some will not.
So if you are not well, I call you to check up on you. You need something, you ask me, I say, I see what I can do for you. All of those things, those all show I'm caring.
But isn't that what a pastor is supposed to do?
Yes, those are. But if you start to call you sweetheart, yes, but you see that is also very loud.
Sometimes, no, listen. Commander,
think about it.
Commander.
That's why I told Amma that most of the sisters like to ignore.
Commander.
Because they can see this guy is caring. He has never even said I love you. But they just choose to daydream, choose to flow in their own
Exactly.
That's true.
So, because a pastor's job is to care for the members.
Yes.
Commander, as a pastor, right? One of the things is that you also know. Of course, at this point in ministry, if you've done ministry 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you already know how members are. And you know how women are. Even me, that I'm a female, when I'm speaking to the ladies in my branch, I'm more careful than the gentlemen. Because sometimes you say something, by the time you know they're emotionally hurt and you are confused why you're emotionally hurt, right? Now, when you take that in perspective, Commander, sometimes there are times that the pastor is talking to the lady, and there are pastors that are so well cut out at keeping things very good. Look, and I'm saying this because there are pastors that they can be dating someone in the church for 4 or 5 years and no one will ever know. They don't even talk to them. They pass by them at church. They don't say anything. When they have to work, the people that can do work.
We can't justify whether it's right or wrong.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, right? But I'm just telling you that if you have someone like this as a pastor who's showing care to you, right? The person, even the care, it's not like it's loud care. Care that they've camouflaged this.
I'm asking you.
Okay.
As a member.
Yeah. I'm a member to be fair.
It starts to get to you. And you start to realize that you are responding emotionally in a certain way to it. What do you think is the best course of action? See, you are not a spiritual woman, you are not deep, you are not whatever. Just as a common sense family, logical.
Usually, I would have spoken to my pastor, but my pastor is the one that I like.
So
who would I talk to?
So what do you think is the best course of action?
Hey, I will start to move back. Mom, they won't be picking your call.
So you move back.
If I say normal member, I'll pick your call.
So now, if you move back, you save yourself from any potential hits. So that's one way we dealt with that.
Yeah.
Another way is to also approach the pastor on the matter. Because if you are that free with him, for him to be calling you and making you feel, then don't tell me you can't ask him.
Because if you can't even ask him, that means ulterior motives are there.
Yes.
So just
there's some. Okay, I also agree that there are some ladies too that like this.
Yeah, some ladies. You tell them that this, so I know, but
you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, that I've heard it before. What have you faced that before?
Oh, hey, shit. You made your money.
Fine man of God.
Commander, can you shoot it?
Fine man of God.
Shoot an example for us.
I should shoot an example.
It looks like you're on commander's case today.
No, it's because I want us to solve. This is very important, right? Because dominant people are women in the church, right? Yeah. So that's why.
You know, for example, I told a lady, I said, there's somebody I'm going to marry. She told me, pray about it.
Honestly, women don't care.
Yes.
Once you are married, they don't care.
You are not seeing clearly.
She told me
You've lost. You know something. She can believe your prophetic word, but she can't believe that marriage there you are right.
Then at a point, I told her, listen, I am super convinced. She said she's still around because even Abraham, when God told him to kill Isaac, the instruction changed. So we may never know when the instruction can change. She's around.
She's in scripture. She's preaching you to you.
The lady is immature. Period.
You understand?
Because the thing is,
so if I was a bad pastor and I was a pastor who was not worthy of my calling, then
you would have.
I would have also definitely take advantage of the emotion.
Free meat for the soup.
Exactly.
But then that's the thing. People don't realize that as much as pastors have to be responsible, members are also responsible.
Exactly.
Ephesians chapter 4, the word that mentions that, the word says that the ministers are not the pastors or prophets or whatever. The ministers are the saints in the pew. That's it. These things we are doing, there's an expiry date on what we are doing. The expiry date is not when we die. It's until they come into the fullness of the Son of God.
Yeah, that's true.
Bringing it back to the church conversation, the Bible is clear in the example. Genesis chapter 2. The garden was created. Genesis chapter 3. You know why the snake could talk to Eve? Because assumptions were there. Assumptions are the playground for the devil to do his work.
Exactly.
And
Quote,
Exactly.
assumptions are the
Exactly.
playground for the
and
devil to do.
the thing with what he has given the practical, that is, you are seeing the ingredients on the table, you must know how it is. The thing is that boundaries are not a sign of weakness, they are an indication of strength. If I know my boundaries, I know this is my strength. So the thing too is that people to also know wise to realize that the way money is to business and finance, time is to relationships. So attention breeds affection. So the more time you are seeing someone spending attention, if you don't give definition to that attention, the affection will run wild. So a lot of ladies are setting themselves up, not even pastors. This one, I'm with the pastors on this one. Because sometimes, because the problem is, the Bible tells you to guard your heart. If you've left your heart open and all manner of affections are running wild, then you are not the wise one. Because the onus of responsibility concerning maturity, as much as the pastor has his part, the members must mature.
That's all. Thank you, sir.
So if you are not doing your part and realizing that the ingredients on the table, the way the meal is going, I'm allergic to one of the ingredients, I must be careful. If you two are not being serious with your responsibility, then why are you blaming a pastor for being hurt?
This is very deep. You know, it just brings me to something. The way a pastor-member relationship is very easy for love to spring up.
Yeah.
Especially when it's male, female, male. When I mean the pastor is female, yeah, male.
That love is not the love of Christ.
Of course, it's not the love of God. It's very easy because anytime anyone feels loved, it's easier for. That's how come you see. I hear people say that when they pray together, like when people like China pray together, they even have sex right after. Because I mean, when you pray, the love of God is aroused in your heart.
Are you sure?
Then you go to duplicate the template, but not in the right form. You get my point? Like I'm just trying to let you understand that the way pastor-member relationship is, it's very easy for you to like the person that's caring for you.
Yeah.
And this happens to me, the female pastors. It does not happen to me yet, but it happens to the female pastors as well. Sometimes your male members, because we know that male members are drawn to the female pastors, and the female members are drawn to the male pastors. May like you, and it's very easy. So based on that conversation, I fully agree with your commander. Kwame is saying.
This one, girls also talk.
They should talk.
So I will also back them.
Move to them.
Now, Pastor Oliver, do you consider that, okay, can you describe a moment that you realize that you have actually been wounded in the church? Like, give me example, tangible examples, both as a member. Because even though you are a pastor, you are a member of the church. Because you still have a pastor over you, right? So both as a member. And your pastor hurt you before.